Hello everyone, welcome back. We are settling into our summer routine, so hopefully I can get more videos out more regularly now. I'm excited about that. I do have a few things already in the works, and one thing that at least one of my viewers might be a little mad at me about for what I'm considering doing to one of my series. You'll find all that out later this week, along with my first playthrough of the new Werewolf Pack, which is out on Thursday. I'm excited for that. But for today, let's not worry about all that other stuff. Let's just worry about today's video. So last week, I attempted to do a really small, although it wasn't that small, budget starter house, and I failed miserably, and you can see that video. I'll link to it in the description box below. But I desperately felt the need to redeem myself. So I went back and I redecorated that house to redeem myself. It is no longer a budget starter house. It is a fully furnished, really nice house. But we'll try again in the future. For now, let's look at this. I think it turned out really, really well. And I'm glad I redid it and redeemed myself. Hopefully you agree that I also redeemed myself. So let's get into it. And we're jumping right in here now with changing the terrain paint. I actually, looking at this on video, in game it looked fine, but looking at it on video, it did not turn out as well as I wanted it to. That's okay. Terrain paint is easy to change. And it costs your sim nothing, so you can get rid of those little flower patches if you want. So this was originally meant to be a very summer, I guess, house. The main feature was supposed to be the backyard. But when I first made it, I very quickly ran out of money. And I think we all agree that part of the problem is I started on a fairly good sized lot. And so in my brain, big lot, you gotta fill it up, right? And so I made some rooms in the build, like this front hallway here and the living room that's next to it, way too big, like way too big. They did not need to be that big, and that eats up quite a bit of money right there. So I could have made those a lot smaller, and it would have made more sense overall, both to the floor plan, the overall house, and being a budget house. And I might have had enough money left over to make the big featured backyard that I originally intended when I originally built this house, but I needed to redeem myself, so I came back to redecorate it. I still wanted it to not cost a ton of money, and I couldn't do it. I don't know why. It did end up around 40 to 45,000. I think I said that already once, but yeah. Reiterating, it's not a cheap house. It is a single sim or maybe a couple's house. There's no room for kids. Oh, bless you, puppy. There's no room for kids. It was meant to be a starter house. So now it's a really super expensive starter house. Maybe it's now a retirement house. How about we say that? It went from an attempt at a budget starter house to now being a very relaxed and cozy retirement home. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna think of it from now on, because, yeah, definitely a young adult sim just starting out in their career is not gonna be able to afford this house. Maybe, possibly 2 sims together, but not like 2 freshly made sims. This would have to be 2 sims who purposely Are you okay? My dog is having some kind of allergy attack or something. Are you okay? She doesn't normally cough and sneeze when she's just laying in her bed. I don't know. Poor doggo. But they they won't be able to like just move in here fresh out of cast. They'll have to have like money and jobs first. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I have learned to balance significant minimalism with over the top clutter because I don't, especially in kitchens. I just can't do the clutter. I don't like it. It's too visually overstimulating for me. It looks messy. I just don't like it. And that's just my personal taste. I'm not saying it's bad or it's ugly. I'm just saying I personally don't like it. But I do understand and recognize that a big part of this game is the aesthetics of it. And when you don't put any effort into that aesthetic, it looks really bad and like not appealing at all. And yeah, so I am learning to balance that a little bit better. I haven't gotten good yet at balancing that with the cost of everything in The Sims, because The Sims, the cost for this stuff is really weird. Like you can buy you can buy a massive statue for 100 simoleons and a tiny plant for 300 simoleons. Like the way things are priced is really, really weird in this game. So I haven't quite learned to work around that yet either. I like to joke and say what a great builder and decorator I used to be in The Sims until I kind of quit playing about halfway through Sims 3 for several years. I didn't come back to playing The Sims regularly until probably right around when University was released for The Sims 4. So there was a number of years in there. I think I stopped playing The Sims 3 regularly right after World Adventures was released. I had a young child. We were doing a lot of school and medical related stuff and everything, and I just didn't have the time anymore. And so I lost the ability, and it really is a joke. Like, I'm not out here saying I was the greatest simmer of all time because I've been around since the beginning or whatever. I'm making fun of myself like I used to be so good. I was one of the greats or whatever. But the truth is that when you practice something more, you do get better at it. And so I was better at it back in the day than I am now. Also, the aesthetics and what people liked to look at in the game was different back then than it is now. And I know that makes me sound like I'm one of those stuck in their ways old people that just can't change. Partially true. I can't deny that. But the other thing is just that, I can't deny it. That's basically it. I'm an old person stuck in my ways. But in my defense, I was born an old person. I've been an old person my entire life, so I can't really help it. But I am learning. I think this house, this redecorate, not the original version that was just awful, proves that I am learning to some extent. I am getting better and better at mixing these different ideas and coming to sort of a compromise in between them, being really expensive and being budget friendly, being really overly decorated and not being decorated at all. You know what I mean? As for specifically this house, I don't think that the backyard is the main feature. The more and more I watch the speed build, the more and more I think maybe the living room ended up being the main feature. The kitchen dining room front entryway is very minimalistic still. The living room is less minimalistic. We're not even going to talk about the bathroom. Forget there's a bathroom. I didn't bother doing anything with the bathroom, honestly. I put the basic features necessary for a bathroom in there, and that was kind of it, and I left it. I don't like the bedroom. I don't like the way the bedroom turned out. I don't know what else to do to make it different, though. I mean, there are pieces of the bedroom that I think work well with the space, but overall, I just don't know. I don't know. There's something off about it, and I don't know what it is. So I think you'd have to wait and see the backyard, but me personally, I'm gonna say that it's a toss-up between the living room and the backyard, sort of still being the main feature. There's a lot of things that I cut out that I tried to do to the backyard, but were just so difficult to pull off. Those new lights that came with the little camper set, I am constantly trying to put those like along the tops of fences and stuff, but to get them lined up perfectly is so frustrating. I cannot even tell you how frustrating it is. I ended up cutting that whole section out because obviously, you'll see in the end, I didn't actually add them in. Or I didn't keep them, I mean. I did start to, but then I didn't keep them in. But I do still use those little lights in a lot of different places. I did leave them in where I put them on the trees, which again, you'll see here in a minute. I put them under the trees, kind of like having a little bit of hanging lights in the trees, which I think is pretty. I like it. If I had any trees in my yard in real life, I would do that in real life. So I like adding them in to the Sims where I can, and having these little lights like you see on the table there. I love having those now. I'd love to be able to put them on the top of the fences. It's just, I don't think that's gonna happen. It could take hours to get them all lined up perfectly along the top of the fence, because each one is only one tile big. So, or is it one tile? Maybe it's two tiles. I don't know. But anyways, it's never gonna happen. I don't have the patience for that. I really don't. But that's what I was gonna say before. Even just lining them up to the tree limbs, it looks like it happens really quickly in this video, but in actuality, it took me probably about 30 minutes, give or take a little bit, to get it lined up just right. Excuse me. There's another tree, so I would say each tree took about 15 minutes, and you'll see the other tree in a second. Yeah, it took about 15 minutes for each tree to get those little lights lined up perfectly with the branches, both height-wise, but also, just all the different ways. And it was, I just don't have the patience for that. I guess I'm just not a very patient person, so that's the best I can offer. But they're really cute. They turned out really cute anyways, even though it's just the one in each tree. I don't know why I'm obsessed with using all these fairy lights and hanging lights and stuff in backyards. I just am. I like them. I like my backyard to have a lot of different little lights and fairy lights and all sorts of things, and I like being able to open the shades or have the shades open at night and seeing my backyard all sparkly and lit up and everything. I like emulating that in The Sims because I can't always pull it off in my backyard in real life, and so at least I get to look at it in The Sims. So since we're coming up right about on the end here, we have about a minute and a half left. Let me know down in the comments. I'm thinking about restarting my website up. I don't know if anybody's interested in that, but I was thinking about using it as a place to take screenshots in games. Probably mostly The Sims, but some of the other games I play as well, maybe. And excuse me. And making wallpapers for computer desktops, but also for tablets and phones as well, for people to enjoy of the builds and stuff that I make. If anybody's interested in that, let me know, and I will look into doing that. It'll probably be a cheap or free website to start with, like, I don't know, JSimLady.wixsites.com or something, something along those lines, not my own domain or anything, just something cheap like that or something. I used to love making desktop and phone and tablet wallpapers. It was just something I enjoyed making, and I kind of miss just the simplicity of doing something like, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I'm thinking about that, and enjoy the walkthrough, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.